The watch that we're looking at today is part Ressence, part iPod, but really its own design. The case is really interesting. The dial is something like you've never seen before, and it's still affordable. It's Swiss made, it's automatic, and it works like any other watch that you've ever owned, but it looks completely different. So without further ado, let's take a look at one of the most interesting designs that I've ever featured here on my channel from Raven Designs. So if you're interested in this watch, it's probably not going to be your first watch. Raven obviously know that because they're making something very, very interesting. Now, this could be your only watch if you are a watch collector, though. If you're just starting out collecting, this is probably not going to be your first watch. Usually someone who is a seasoned watch collector would gravitate towards something like this. First, you're getting a very large domed sapphire crystal, which is almost half the case. The case is in stainless steel, but it's a very large domed sapphire crystal. That's basically the dial as well. On the outer portion of that dial, you have the date. Inboard of that, you have the minutes. Those are the small hashes that you see there on that sapphire crystal / dial. Then inboard of that, you see larger hashes. That's the hours. Now, the minutes are measured in quarter minutes. As the time advances, you see that little white bar that represents the minutes move to the next minute marker. That's 15 minutes. And then also, same thing for the hour. Every hour, that little bar changes to the next position. And I'll do a close-up in a video of exactly how that works. It's all controlled from the crown, so you have a crown that is hidden right here. It is flush with the case, and that is a very good decision because obviously you want to keep this very organic, pebble-like or UFO-like shape. When you turn this on its side, you can see you have a polished crown. Everything else is media blasted, and then you have a very organic shape. It's a 44 millimeter watch. So this basically measures in at around 44.4 or 44.5 is what I measured at the case and at the lug to lug. And that makes sense because this is a circular watch. Also, it's around 12 millimeters thick or just over 12 millimeters thick, which is very good because this is a Swiss automatic inside. You're getting a Sellita SW200, and it is pretty difficult to do something like this. So the fact that they've kept it this slim is very good. And the bracelet or the strap in this case actually integrates into the case, as you can see. And you do get to see the movement from the back, this little sapphire crystal right there. That is the Sellita SW200. Screwed in case back, I think you're getting 50 meters of water resistance. And again, sapphire crystal on the front and the back. All stainless steel, all media blasted, a little bit of information about the watch on the case back, basically everything that I'm telling you right now. This essentially works like every other watch that you've ever owned. It's really, ironically, kind of simple, even though it looks somewhat complicated. You are still just getting hours, quarter minutes, and the date. So you just pull out the crown. In the first position, you're going to be able to change the date. And you can see that date changing around the perimeter. So right now it says the 15th. That's because there is a white portion behind the 15. So it just highlights the number 15. Pull it out one more time. And now you could change the time. That'll change the hour and the quarter minutes. Right now it says that it's 8:15 because the 8 is highlighted on that center portion of the dial. On that middle portion, the quarter minutes, it is highlighted at 15 for the 8 position. Very simple, very easy to read as well. And then when you move the time, it will advance to 8:30, 8:45, and then eventually 9 o'clock. When it's 9 o'clock, they will all be in line. So the 9 o'clock position will highlight in the center, and then of course that minute track as well. Very, very easy to tell the time on here, and it operates just like any other watch that you've ever used. So if you need to move backwards, you could move backwards. Move forwards or backwards, just like any other Sellita SW200. The strap on here is a cav leather strap. This is in a gray color. I think they call this color the moon or something like that. I don't remember the exact color name, but they have a few different colors. They're all very sort of like this, a muted gray or black or something like that, which I think goes very well with the aesthetic. You get a very large, bespoke, media blasted and signed clasp on here, and it is really nice. It is milled. And again, goes with the case a little bit because obviously the finishings are very similar. And overall, I like the aesthetic of this watch. I think a lot of people will see this and be like, what is that? It's also Swiss made, so you're getting a Swiss made movement inside the case. It's something very special, something very different that you will never see on anybody else's wrist. It kind of reminds me of an iPod, but at the same time, maybe a Ressence, which I think is a really impressive thing to say, especially considering the price. Ressence makes some pretty interesting watches like this, kind of similarly shaped because of the sapphire crystals here, but they charge a lot more money. This is nowhere near that price. So I'm going to show you the watch that I have on my wrist, and then we'll throw this watch on my wrist. On my wrist today, I have a vintage minute repeater from a brand that was, I don't think, made very many watches, but this is an Angelus private label is what you would call it, because it's actually made by Angelus, the movement made by Dubuis-Turquoise. So very cool and sounds great. I have other videos. I'm not going to play it in this video because it takes a long time, but a 1970s minute repeater that is actually affordable. And there is the Raven design on my 7.5 inch wrist. You could see this wears very close to the wrist. It's very thin because of the shape of the case and the way that it sits on that strap. It wears very close to the wrist, very comfortable. You have a lugless design and it definitely benefits from it. It looks really modern, something very crazy, something weird, definitely a conversation starter, and I really like it. I like the aesthetic here. I love the sapphire crystal, and they counterbalanced all that sapphire crystal with media blasted case and buckle and a matte finish strap. If they did some polishing here, it would look maybe a little bit more flashy, but it somewhat subdues the case or the whole overall look. I think it looks fantastic. This is currently on sale on their website for $1,999. And considering how much bespoke work goes into something like this, to do something like this, to come up with this idea, design it and execute it, I would imagine that is very, very hard to do. And I think this is a very good price for someone who maybe likes Ressence or MB&F or even Urwerk. They want something that's really high quality, Swiss made, but they don't want to break the bank. $1,999. This is something incredibly different and incredibly interesting. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. This does not have loom. That is probably my only complaint. If they loom those portions underneath the sapphire crystal, you would be able to see the time in the dark, and that would be pretty cool, I think. I'm not sure if they have plans to do that in the future or if that is something that will eventually happen, but it's definitely something to consider if they are thinking about it. I will definitely put a link to their website down in the description below. Definitely check them out. Pretty awesome watches. Tell me what you think down in the comment section below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next video.